Well, good morning. My name is Willie Lawson. Willie Lawson, and I don't know my name. Uh, well, because I had a fantastic, incredible um, Thanksgiving, and I trust that you did too. Uh, you know, I'm an only child, and I just like doing what I like to do. And Thanksgiving was indeed a day of food and family and football. On Friday, Florida State Seminoles, my team, my boys, my guys, uh, managed to beat down them Gators. Uh, we won 45-38. I don't know if that was a beat down, but we won. And that was great. And the Pitt Panthers beat down our other in-state rivals, the University of Miami, quite handily, 45-16 or something. So for a football perspective, pretty doggone good weekend. Buccaneers, not so much. But you know what? College game means more to us at my house than the pro game at this point, especially on rivalry weekend. So there we are. I trust again that you had a great weekend. Sunday, pastor still did a message on thankfulness, and so Sunday morning all got to get together and bring our leftovers or whatever, and have breakfast together and sit and have a meal, and it was nice. It was really very nice. Um, as we look forward to our Christmas season and into the next year. In a few weeks, it'll be 2023, right? It's amazing, isn't it? It's going to be 2023 in a few weeks. You remember when it was 2020? You remember? Wow. Anyway, we're going to take a little break. We'll be back with more of the program. We have lots to talk about today. Hope you enjoy it. We'll be back in just a moment. Well, hey everybody, my name is Willie Lawson, and you guys know that I do a lot of stuff on the internet. And you may think with what's happening on Twitter and what's happening on Facebook and what happened to Parler that the mainstream social media sources are really trying to rid themselves of conservative voices. And you'd be right. They most certainly are. Um, but you know what? It isn't as bad as you think it is. It's worse. But there are people who are willing to be platformed for free speech. One of those one of those places is freedomforum.website. Freedomforum.website. You can go there and speak your mind. So come join us. Enjoy the freedom. Enjoy the fun. If you are a true blue conservative, small businesses are near and dear to your heart. They are the lifeblood of our life and economy. I believe this, and that's why my florist is not a website or phone number. My florist is Bloomingdale's Flower Shop, Tampa's premier flower shop. At 11618 North Florida Avenue here in Tampa, Florida, and at 6835 State Road 54 in Newport Richey. Call Christine at 813-933-1942 and at 727-232-6900. She can also be reached on the web at www.bloomingdays.com.
One of the things that I get asked most is where can I get information that is not tainted with liberal bias, especially here in the Tampa Bay area? Well, now I have the answer. tbctampa.com, a website by and for Tampa area conservatives. Tampa's leading conservative voices speak freely at tbctampa.com, and you can too. So join the fun and enjoy the freedom at tbctampa.com. My name is Willie Lawson, and this is the Morning Report.
Okay, welcome back to the program. Again, we just passed through Thanksgiving and that time, and I think there's a YouTube video that I did three. Well, when this goes up, it'll be two YouTube videos ago. You want to check out the meaning of Thanksgiving, really, and what it really means, and what we think it means, and what it doesn't mean. But it's interesting that we are at a point in our history and a point in our politics and a point in our culture where these things have completely different narratives depending on what side of the aisle, what side of the culture war that you are on. And I think that we've missed, conservatives have completely missed the boat on a lot of this because y'all just didn't think, because I'm not going to say we, because y'all just didn't get it. There are a lot of us who've been telling you that you're fighting a culture war, that you're losing. You thought you were fighting a political war, and you were fighting a cultural war. Actually, a cultural war was being waged against you, and that's why you didn't understand. And that's why you continue to use some of the same metrics for success as you did in the past, and they no longer work because the battleground, the battlefield, the battle methodologies have changed, incredibly changed. You are in a spiritual war, and this isn't just hyperbole. This isn't just some subjects, some phrase people use. You are in a spiritual battle for the nation. We are the soul of the nation. Truly, we are. Truly, we are, without a doubt. Which is why, in a lot of areas, you continue to fail. If we can compare and contrast two viewpoints about what Thanksgiving is about. First of all, Joy Reid. Now, I'm telling you, I don't listen to Joy Reid, and this is basically why. And why would I? A lot of you spend a lot of time. Excuse me. You know, if you know, you know. Spending a lot of time trying to rebuke or rebut these people when it's a waste of time. So I don't listen to them. I don't care. But this is interesting to compare and contrast two viewpoints on Thanksgiving. Joy Reid on Readout began by referencing that many people celebrate Thanksgiving, which he mentioned as the day we gather with friends and family to enjoy turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes and pumpkin pie. We throw on the game, catch up on our lives, discuss, or possibly argue about religion and politics. But she also mentioned that America's history was founded on violence. Our birth was violent. And in 1619, a ship of more than 20 enslaved Africans landed in Virginia, ushering in 2 centuries of American slavery that left millions in chains or dead. That's her viewpoint. What do you think? Now, you think you can rebut this with facts, right? And that is going to do the trick. As a matter of fact, the article that I'm taking this from is by Rebecca Downs. And what Rebecca tries to do is try to dispute this viewpoint with facts. Reed also mentioned in 1690, as well as violence and racism, because that's their drum they beat, including the Ku Klux Klan, with a mention of how this continues in today's society. Reed says, "We are a country founded on violence. Our birth was violent. In 1619, a ship with more than 20 enslaved Africans landed in Virginia, ushering in 2 centuries of American slavery that left millions in chains or dead. With those humans in bondage, when they were finally free, a terrorist organization that was a card-carrying member of polite society, Ku Klux Klan, picked up where the Civil War ended. Using violence to maintain white supremacy, the Klan is still active, and as Americans, we continue to choose violence. We are a country that chooses violence over and over again. There is no facet on the mark of society untouched by it." That was her happy Thanksgiving message. Because the people who are listening to her already have this bent to destroy, to tear down, to demean American values. Now, here's an interesting juxtaposition. I love that word, juxtaposition. It makes me sound like I went to college. And the way I say it sounds like I drove by a college, a junior college. After his decisive re-election win as governor of Florida earlier this month, that saw support from Republicans surge in the Sunshine State, my dude, Ron DeSantis shared what he's grateful for in a Thanksgiving message released this past week, in which he wishes his state residents a happy Thanksgiving. Here's what he says. 233 years ago, President George Washington issued a proclamation for a day of public thanksgiving and prayer. Watch the video about what Thanksgiving is about. For the American people to acknowledge with grateful hearts the many signal favors of Almighty God, especially by affording them an opportunity to peaceably to establish a form of government for their safety and happiness. DeSantis reminded of the holiday's origins. Those origins, of course, are the kind of things that the leftist Democrats, like Joy Reid, would prefer to ignore or outright erase, like Joy Reid, given their war on America's founders, like Joy Reid, and the notion that America was founded with the understanding that its divine providence guided its beginning. Because the battle is spiritual, the battle is cultural. And if they can ignore, tear down, demean the spiritual element, then the rest of it will crumble. They're right, it will. DeSantis says, we're blessed to be Americans and to live in the free state of Florida. While our country has faced so many problems in recent years, we have the capacity to solve these problems and bring about brighter days. We have the capacity to solve these problems and to bring about brighter days. That's a much different message than someone like Joy Reid, isn't it? isn't it? Because I'm sorry. Let me go on. He says the first lady and I have so much to be thankful for: her health, our three children, Madison, Mason, and Mamie. Really, dude? Named all his girls M's. Okay, that's cute. And the trust Floridians have placed in me and my administration to continue our efforts. It is indeed a much different message. Tone is much different. And these two things, Joy Reid's rant about the Ku Klux Klan and Ron DeSantis's um, message of hope, collide. One is lifting up, one is tearing down. So when the progressives say that they want progress, you have to look at them with an ensconced eye. Because what do they really want? What do they really want? Seems obvious to me. And I'm guessing now it seems a lot more obvious to you. We'll be back after these messages. So is it okay now, because it was, I mean, during the Trump administration, it is okay to talk about the president's
yeah. We talked about mental health elderly, so let's talk about this guy mental health.
The president's mental acuity, because there's sometimes where it seems to be lacking. Have you seen?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes it's especially bad. I mean, I'm talking about sometimes it's like really bad. Like, have you seen the picture?
I was told not to take any questions.
I was told not to take any questions. They're going to be mad at me.
They're going to be mad at me.
Mr.
President, are you the president, or were you five?
You see what I want? See, the next question is, excuse me,
I was told to call on what you call it for NBC. Who's telling you to call on?
That's the question that we ought to be asking. Who's telling you this?
I mean, I don't understand why nobody won't ask that question.
Is Jen Psaki actually the president?
Who's telling you to call on these people in the media?
Is Jen Psaki actually the president?
Probably so.
All right, welcome back. Appreciate that you are hanging out with us this morning. This is the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. The Morning Report is production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. We appreciate that you are here today as we look headlong into this Christmas season. Y'all remember a few weeks ago, there was an impending rail strike. Now, this rail strike was going to be a big deal, and it was a big deal that was on nobody's radar. Because mainstream media, legacy media, they weren't talking about it. It wasn't being talked about on social media. There were no celebrities that came out and they were worried about it and talking about how bad the railroad companies are because they are run by Trump. I mean, nothing. Because there was no Trump element to it, which is why nobody was talking about it, frankly. There was no Trump slant. So no one was interested. There was no Trump or COVID slant. But it was going to be, but it could be disastrous. And I really don't think people get it. Things in this country, stuff, Smouse, this can of bubbly. It's green, so sorry. This can of bubbly. The stuff to clean my glasses with, which is clear. There you go. The stuff to clean my glasses with. All this stuff was at some point in the past couple of years on a train, headed to somewhere to be put on a truck. How stuff gets moved, right? my my Avon watch. At some point, it was on a boat, and it was on a train, and then it was on a truck, headed somewhere. That's how it got to me. And well, you ordered it online. Yeah, I did, idiot. How do you think? How do you think they got to my house? You think that I have a transporter, behind this wall here? I have a transporter. No, not how it happened. Somebody put it on a boat, running diesel fuel, on a train, running diesel fuel, on a truck, running diesel fuel to my house, and that's how I got it. Everything is on a truck. Now, in the middle of that, there are trains, right? There are trains that move stuff all over the country. There was about to be a rail strike. And what that means for those of you who went to public school is that some of the unions were about to go on strike, and that would have shut down the rail system. At the peak of the cluster that was the whole get things around time, right? So this is interesting as we sort of unpeel and unpack some of this stuff. With just 1 week left until the deadline for the railroad companies to reach a deal with 12 rail unions, or else a nationwide strike would kick off. The White House doesn't seem to know what actually is doing to avert the strike. A strike that Biden already took a victory lap, supposedly averting in September, remember? Hey, but guess what? The confusion may have gotten buried along the Thanksgiving weekend, but the president contradicted his own press secretary. It probably happens a lot. My wife always asks, how much longer is she going to do this job? I'm guessing maybe another 18 months before she just can't take it anymore and wants to poke her eyes out with some knitting needles. But she just can't stand it anymore. And she has gotten enough, street cred that she can go do something else, that she can go be on MSNBC, that she could do a show with Joy Reid or somebody and make a little money and not have to answer questions and not have to figure out what the heck is going on every day. That she could just spout. She didn't have to worry about it, right? Because Karine Jean-Pierre claimed about what Biden and his administration had been doing to try to prevent a strike that would cost the U.S. economy as much as $2 billion a day. A day. And grind roughly 1/3 of freight to a halt. What did I just tell you? Everything in this country moves on rails. If you shut down 33% of it, that creates a large problem, and maybe even more. On Thanksgiving Day, as President Joe Biden was speaking with reporters during his long weekend jaunt to Nantucket, because they're just like the rest of us. Some of y'all went to Busch Gardens, and some of y'all went to Disneyland or Disney World. They get to go to Nantucket, where there are no illegal aliens, even though it's a sanctuary city. He explained regarding the rail dispute that this is what he says, that his team have been in touch with all the parties in a room and with the parties, and I have not directly engaged yet because they're still talking. So what the president said is that his team has got everybody in a room and they're talking and they're working it out, but he hasn't engaged yet because they're still working it out. So I'm guessing that if for some reason they can't get it done, the big guy is going to come in like Tony Soprano and make it all happen, right? Is that what you got out of that? Out of that? I'll say it again. The team has been in touch with all parties and in a room with the parties, and I have not directly engaged yet because they're still talking. So the Biden administration is, quote, in touch with the unions and rail companies, whatever that means. But the president himself is not engaged in the process because negotiations are ongoing. And if they need the big guy to come in like Tony Soprano and make it all happen, then I guess he will. Now, Karine Jean-Pierre, I haven't felt more sorry for a press secretary since Jen Psaki. She says last week on November 22nd, the president is indeed involved directly in the talks. The point about Biden being directly involved in the talks between the unions and rail companies was made and then reiterated a handful more times by Jean-Pierre, who insisted that Biden has a hand in the process, and he apparently botched the first time before he falsely claimed the tentative agreement was reached in September. And a win for America. Yeah, it looks like they put up the mission accomplished banner a bit soon. I remember. Because apparently it all just went to crap last week. If they go on a strike this month, will it affect your Christmas time? Probably not. Not too much, because a lot of the retail stores, as soon as things opened up a bit, they went crazy and they ordered and they ordered. So I think that everybody's already stocked up and ready. But right after Christmas, could be scary, could be sketchy. So again, which is it? Is the president directly involved, or is he Tony Soprano waiting to get the call, like the big guy, to come into the room? Gonna make an offer, you can't resist. Which is it? Which is it? Which do you think it is? Send us an email at fightbackmedia@gmail.com, fightbackmedia@gmail.com. Which do you think it is? Comment below in this video. Which do you think it is? All right, we'll take a little break. Come back and finish up right after these messages.
Well, hey everybody, my name is Willie Lawson, and you guys know that I do a lot of stuff on the internet. And you may think with what's happening on Twitter and what's happening on Facebook and what happened to Parler that the mainstream social media sources are really trying to rid themselves of conservative voices. And you'd be right. They most certainly are. But you know what? It isn't as bad as you think it is. It's worse. But there are people who are willing to be platformed for free speech. One of those places is freedomforum.website. freedomforum.website. You can go there and speak your mind. So come join us. Enjoy the freedom. Enjoy the fun. If you are a true blue conservative, Small businesses are near and dear to your heart. They are the lifeblood of our life and economy. I believe this, and that's why my florist is not a website or phone number. My florist is Blooming Days Flower Shop, Tampa's premier flower shop. At 11618 North Florida Avenue here in Tampa, Florida, and at 6835 State Road 54 in Newport Richey. Call Christine at 813-933-1942 and at 727-232-6900. She can also be reached on the web at www.bloomingdays.com. One of the things that I get asked most is where can I get information that is not tainted with liberal bias, especially here in the Tampa Bay area. Well, now I have the answer. tbctampa.com, a website by and for Tampa area conservatives. Tampa's leading conservative voices speak freely at tbctampa.com, and you can too. So join the fun and enjoy the freedom at tbctampa.com. My name is Willie Lawson, and this is the Morning Report.
All right. Again, welcome to the Morning Report. My name is Willie Lawson. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. Again, super happy to be here, very, very much. It is interesting how things work out sometimes. It's fun, actually. If this, wasn't real life and wasn't so incredibly important, vital, and if you could watch it from another planet while watching things happen like a soap opera, it would be completely entertaining. Now, y'all remember the was the DOJ, or was it the Misinformation Governance Board? Remember that? Remember that madness? It was from Homeland Security. Love the smell of jet fuel in the morning. It is the aroma of freedom. Thank you, my friend, from PremierOneDriver.com, PremierOneDriver.com, PremierOneDriver.com. It's almost Christmas time. Go get yourself one of these cool cups or any of the PremierOneDriver.com gear. There's lots of it. Get yourself some. Check my friend Greg out. He's awesome. He hasn't paid me for this. I just like to do it a lot, and he's awesome. Get some gear. He doesn't need your money, but he's got some cool stuff, so get it anyway. All right. Nina Jankowicz. Remember Nina Jankowicz? The former head of the Department of Homeland Security is now defunct, supposedly. Disinformation Governance Board has registered as a foreign agent. This disinformation expert, who believed that Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation, has been hired by the London-based Center for Information Resilience. Sorry. Which is funded in part by the UK government. They tweet this: "We are delighted to announce disinformation expert Nina Jankowicz has joined CIR, the Center for Information Resilience. Nina will help lead our efforts in countering hostile state efforts to distort the information space. She will also be launching the Hypatia project. Now you're wondering who CIR is. CIR is a nonprofit social enterprise focused on countering disinformation, documenting human rights abuse, and combating online harms against women and minorities. Can I take a short rabbit trail here? I am personally sick to death with these uber white, especially in the UK, bright white organizations that have come out to defend me, because they believe that I am incapable of defending myself somehow against these online attacks against women and minorities. Please stop helping me. I don't need your help. Fine. So are all my family, and so are all my friends. Stop it. Because you're lying to start with. You're trying to convince a whole group of people, an entire group of people, nations full of people, that you, in the Center for Information Resilience, are the only way for them to be protected. And everything they need, they already have. And they don't need you. And I did that minute and a half right there without swearing. So it's going to be a good day for me and everybody else. It conducts research and identifies malign influence operations on social media and traditional platforms, works with the international and local media to expose disinformation and assist governments and civil social groups to design and implement countermeasures. Jankowicz, who signed on with the Center for Information Resilience in September, has worked on Russian disinformation and gotten it wrong. I mean, famously, outrageously wrong. I may hire her, or they take her on, give her a stipend. I'm not sure how that works. I'm not sure if she's on a 1099 or a W-2. I don't know. Yes. We are not in a political war. We are in a culture war. We are in a spiritual war. If you are not praying for your nation, you're not helping. Let me say this one more time. If you are not praying for your nation, you're not helping. You may be knocking on doors, you may be passing out handbills, and you may be waving signs for candidates. You may be wearing ultra MAGA t-shirts. You may be doing all that stuff. But if you are not in prayer every day for your nation, then you are not helping. The word says that if my people would humble themselves and pray, that he would heal their nation. If we're not doing that, then we are not doing anything. We are simply bystanders. We're just watching it happen. My name is Willie Lawson. This has been the Morning Report, a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, God take care of yourself. We'll see you when we see you. Bye-bye now.